Most cat owners think trust is something obvious, something you would notice. But what if I told you, you might be slowly breaking your cat's trust every single day without even realizing it? And the scariest part is, your cat has been trying to warn you all along. Not with sounds, not with actions, but with something far more subtle, their eyes. The way they look at you, the way they don't look at you, even the moments they stare into nothing at night. These aren't random behaviors, they're messages. And if you've been misreading them, you may have already damaged a bond your cat once fully believed in. Let's start with the first habit, because this is where everything begins. 1. Talking too loudly. Or worse, yelling. Most people think cats just don't like noise, but that's not what's really happening. Cats don't experience your voice the way you do. To them, volume is intensity, it's threat level. When you raise your voice, even if it's not directed at them, their brain doesn't separate context, it reacts. Instantly. This is where you'll notice the first eye signal. Dilated pupils. Those large, black expanded eyes. That's not curiosity. That's adrenaline. It's a survival response. Your cat's nervous system is preparing for something unpredictable, something unsafe. And here's the part most people miss. If this happens repeatedly, your cat starts associating you with that feeling. Not danger, but instability. And trust cannot grow in instability. But watch closely, because your cat doesn't just react, they communicate back. If their pupils stay wide even after things calm down, they're not over it yet. They're still processing you, and what they decide in those moments shapes your relationship more than you think. 2. Petting them in the wrong places. This one surprises almost everyone, because it feels like affection, but to your cat it can feel like pressure, or even invasion. Most people focus on where they pet, belly, back, tail, but cats focus on how it feels over time. And this is where one of the most misunderstood signals appears, the half-closed eyes. You've probably seen it. That soft, slow, relaxed gaze. It looks peaceful, loving even, and it is at first. It's what behaviorists call the trust stare. It means your cat is letting their guard down in your presence. But here's where it gets interesting. If you continue petting past their comfort point, that same relaxed expression begins to change. Subtly. The eyes narrow slightly more. The blink rate slows, then stops. And then, a shift. This is called petting-induced overstimulation. Your cat doesn't suddenly snap. They escalate silently, through their eyes first. And if you miss that transition, the bite or scratch feels random. But to them, it was warned, every second. And if this makes sense so far, take a second to like and subscribe, because understanding these small signals is what separates a cat that tolerates you from a cat that truly trusts you. 3. Only feeding dry food and ignoring the deeper signal. Now this might sound unrelated, but stay with me, because this is where behavior and biology collide. Most owners think food is just about nutrition, but for cats, it's also emotional communication, especially hydration. Cats naturally have a low thirst drive. In the wild, they get moisture from prey. So when a cat is fed only dry kibble, their body adapts. Quietly. Over time, this can lead to chronic dehydration, even early kidney stress. But here's the subtle part. Your cat doesn't complain. They communicate through behavior. And yes, through their eyes. A dehydrated or uncomfortable cat often shows a very specific stare. Slightly unfocused, lingering, almost distant. Not locked onto anything, not curious, just there. Owners often interpret this as calmness or laziness, but in many cases it's low-level discomfort. Your cat is conserving energy, processing internal imbalance. And the more this becomes routine, the more their emotional engagement with you starts to fade. Not because they don't love you, but because their body isn't fully at ease in your care. And here's the question most people never ask. If your cat doesn't feel fully safe inside their own body, how can they fully trust the one responsible for it? But we're just getting started, because the next habit is something almost every cat owner does daily, and it completely changes the way your cat sees you. 4. Staring at your cat without realizing what you're saying. To you, eye contact feels normal, friendly even. But in the cat world, an unbroken stare is something else entirely. It's dominance. It's challenge. It's what predators do before they act. So when you look directly into your cat's eyes and hold that gaze, you might think you're bonding, but your cat is decoding something very different. And this is where one of the most powerful signals appears, the slow blink. If your cat slowly closes their eyes while looking at you, that's not sleepiness. That's trust in its purest form. It's the feline version of saying, I feel safe enough to look away. But here's where most people break that moment. Instead of responding, they keep staring, or they move suddenly, or they laugh and walk away. And in that tiny window, the message goes unanswered. Trust, offered but not received. Over time, your cat learns something subtle but important. You don't speak their language, and slowly they stop trying as much. But if you ever catch that slow blink again, try this. Blink back. Slowly. Softly. No tension. Because in that silent exchange, something ancient is happening. Something most people never experience with their cat. 5. Ignoring their nighttime staring behavior. This is one of the most misunderstood things cats do. You wake up in the middle of the night, and there they are, sitting, watching, eyes wide, unmoving. It feels eerie, almost unnatural, so most people brush it off, or worse, push the cat away. But here's the truth. Your cat isn't being creepy. They're being instinctive. Cats are crepuscular. Their minds are most active when yours is shutting down. And in those quiet hours, their senses heighten. Every sound, every movement, every shift in your breathing. And sometimes they stare at you. Not because they're plotting, but because they're observing, learning, synchronizing. This is what's known as predator focus, but not in the way you think. It's not about hunting you. It's about studying the environment, and you're part of that environment. Your patterns, your vulnerability, your safety. And here's the emotional layer most people miss. When your cat watches you sleep, they are witnessing you at your most defenseless, just like they are when they sleep near you. It's a shared state of vulnerability. But if you react negatively in those moments, pushing them away, speaking harshly, you interrupt something deeper. A quiet bonding ritual that happens when the world is still. And if that pattern breaks repeatedly, your cat may stop coming to you at night altogether. Which leads us to something even more subtle. 6. Misunderstanding the difference between curiosity and emotional distance. Have you ever noticed your cat staring at something that isn't there? A wall, a corner, empty space. Most people joke about it. They're seeing ghosts. But the truth is far more grounded and far more important. Cats have heightened sensory perception. They detect micro movements, tiny vibrations, even changes in light you can't perceive. But here's where it becomes emotional. The way your cat looks at those things, compared to how they look at you, tells you everything about your bond. A curious stare is sharp, focused, intent. But a disconnected stare, the one many owners overlook, is different. It lingers, it drifts, it lacks engagement. And if your cat starts giving you that same distant look more often, it's not boredom, it's withdrawal, a subtle pulling back, not dramatic, not obvious, but real. And it usually doesn't happen all at once. It builds from small misunderstandings, repeated missed signals, tiny breaks in trust that stack over time, until one day your cat stops looking at you the same way they used to. And finally 7, when those signals disappear completely. This is the part most cat owners never see coming, because it doesn't feel like a warning. It feels like nothing. No slow blinks, no soft eye contact, no watching you at night, no emotional gaze at all, just routine, eating, sleeping, existing. And many people think, my cat is just independent. But independence in cats doesn't look like emotional silence. It looks like choice, engagement, on their terms. So when all those subtle eye signals fade, it's not personality, it's disconnection. And sometimes it's physical. Pain, illness, internal stress. Cats are wired to hide weakness. And one of the first things that changes is how they look at you. Less eye contact, less expression, less presence. Other times it's emotional, a learned distance built from moments where their communication wasn't understood or was ignored. And here's the hardest truth. Cats don't confront you when trust is broken. They adapt, quietly. They stop offering what wasn't received. They stop risking vulnerability where it wasn't recognized. But the good news is this. Trust in cats isn't lost instantly, and sometimes it can be rebuilt in the smallest ways. A softer voice, a returned slow blink, respecting when they've had enough, understanding what their eyes have been trying to tell you all along, because your cat was never silent, not once. They've been speaking to you every single day, through every glance, every blink, every stare in the dark. The only question is, now that you understand their language, will you finally listen?